Alright, today we're painting Wine for Two. So this is a diptych, so they're both going to need the same paints. So for the paints, they'll both need 5 pumps of black, 1 pump of deep yellow, 1 pump of phthalo green, 1 pump of fire red, and 1 pump of white. And they will need a pencil, the filbert brush, small filbert, 12 bristle, and a 12 flat. So for this painting, this is a different painting, no easels. So you're going to get rid of the easels and you're going to set the canvases down flat across from each other. And this is really cool because everyone can be painting the same thing. To you, it's going to look upside down, but each person is painting their painting right side up, right? And the only thing that changes is the color. The best way for you to teach this is to put your 2 canvases next to each other, so they're horizontal and they're next to each other like you're painting a horizontal diptych. Set your canvases out like that, because if you're painting upside down, you're going to confuse the bejesus out of them. So you want to put yours upside down, or put yours side by side, both right side up. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, really simple, we're going to take our 12 bristle, dip it in our water, squeeze the extra water out, and we are going to paint our canvases black. So this is the same for both of you. Paint your canvas. Alright, if you wipe your brush on the side, it'll keep your water cleaner longer. Go ahead and set that in there. So while we're waiting for these to dry, we are going to practice doing our wine glasses and our wine bottles. So we'll just start practicing with wine glasses. So you can go ahead and take your pencil, and I'm going to use a Sharpie really big up here so you can see it. So for a wine glass, the first thing we want to do, and there's all different shapes and sizes of wine glasses, so you don't need to be super particular about it. So for a wine glass, the first thing we want to do is a U shape. So it's kind of like a horseshoe because it goes up on the sides a little bit. Do that so you can see it. So it's kind of like a horseshoe because it goes up on the sides a little bit. So instead of just being a U where the sides are straight, they curve in just a little bit. Then we're going to put an oval or an ellipse at the top. And then we're going to come down here to the bottom of the one. Well, actually, we're going to do another ellipse. So then you're going to go down a little bit, and you'll do another ellipse. So it's just like the previous one. It's parallel, and that's how full your glass is. Maybe it's empty. You already drank it all. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the bottom of our glass, and you want to have it taper down. So you're going to start at the bottom, and you're going to do a vertical line going down, and then you're going to go over about 1 centimeter. And you'll kind of curve in a little bit and do a line going down. Maybe you have a long stem glass, short, whatever you want to do. And so then you're going to do a third oval. So then I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to do a third oval. And you can draw right over the line you had before. You can even go around a couple times. So we're going to do it in pencil first, and that way you can kind of make any adjustments. So go ahead and practice that and get to the point where you feel pretty comfortable with it. And then our wine bottle is going to be super easy. So just work on your wine glass. I'm going to come around and see if you have any questions. And we're going to wait for these to dry. Okay, so those are looking great. So now we're going to go into our canvas and we're going to do our wine bottles. So this is the same for both of you. The wine bottle is going to go on your left side. So your left. So you're going to go to the left side of your canvas, top left corner, and you're going to go over about 1 inch. And you're going to do a vertical line, and I'm going to do this. You are doing it in pencil, but I'm going to do it in white so you can see what I'm doing right now. So you're going to go to your top left corner and go over about 1 inch, and you're going to do a little vertical line. It's only about 2 inches long. And then you're going to kind of curve out to the right just a little bit, and then you're going to go straight down. with a vertical line. So that's the same for both of you. So top left corner of your canvas, vertical line about 2 inches long, reach out over to the side, and then go straight down. From there, we want to do the top of our bottle. So you're going to go up onto your partner's canvas, and you're going to go up, and this is where you can flip. So you might want to have the canvas not completely sit in there, so you could be flipping it back and forth. So you can flip the canvas and show them. You're going to go onto your partner's canvas, up about 2 inches, and then at the top, you're going to put a little ellipse. So I'll show you that on the side. So you could even have a line here dividing the canvas. So we went down about 2 inches, out to the right, straight down. Now we're going to go up onto our partner's canvas about 2 inches, and at the top we're going to put an ellipse, and then we'll do a little line underneath. Alright, so still using pencil. So the next thing we're going to do is our glass of wine. So you want to find where the top of your wine bottle is. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over about 3 inches. You want to give enough space in between, and you're going to do your U shape. You don't want to do it too big, otherwise you're not going to have room for your stems. So at least you have a pencil though, so you can play around with it. So you're going to come in and do a U shape, and this is the same for both of you in pencil. And then you're going to go in and do your ellipse up top, your ellipse in the middle. You're going to add in your stem and your ellipse on the bottom. So we are not going to worry about our wine that is going into the glass right now. Right now we're just going to focus on our wine bottles and our wine glass here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our big square, hold on one second. So we're going to take our big square brush, dip it in your water, dab it on your paper towel, and you're going to take, I don't even know if I used the big square brush. Sorry, intermission. I'll leave that out for right now. So you're going to take your filbert brush and white paint. And this filbert brush is really cool. You want to be kind of delicate with it. It's a very nice brush. If you use the edge, you can make a super thin line. If you use the flat side, you can make a thicker line. But we're going to use this brush for pretty much the whole painting. So we're going to start off with our wine bottles. So you're going to use the flat side with white paint, and you're going to go right along the right edge of your wine bottle. So this is the same for both of you. And after you go down it, what I want you to do is rinse your brush, dab it just a little bit, and take plain water and go right over the line where the white meets the black on the left side of your white line that you made. So what you want to do is you're going to keep brushing down your wine bottle, but you're moving over towards the left. Same for both of you. And you're going to see it just kind of fade away. So we're going to paint over this in green later, but right now we're just making it so it stands out. And of course, after they finish the pencil, you want to come around and see if anyone has any questions or need any help. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to fill in our wine. So if we're doing red wine and we just take straight red paint on there, you're not going to be able to see it. So we have to do it in white first. So what you're going to do is you're going to first take your baby brush in white paint, and you're going to do a spiral inside of your ellipse. So same for both of you. So if I was showing that on the paper here, You could do a spiral, you could just do lots of little circles, concentric circles going into each other. And then we're going to take our filbert brush, we're going to go inside of our wine, so right along the bottom edge of our lips there, you're going to do a brush stroke. And then you're going to take your brush and flip it vertically, and you're going to drag that white down. So what you're going to end up with is white at the top part, black at the bottom, and then a little spiral on top. So we will work on that here for just a moment. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over our wine that's dripping into each other's glasses. So right now I'm going to flip my canvas so that they're on top of each other just like yours are. So what you're going to do, this is the same for both of you. You're going to go to use the edge of your brush, your filbert and your white, and you're going to go to the top of your wine bottle, and you're going to do a vertical line going up to the corner. Go over to the right, and then you're going to go down and try to land in your partner's glass. You can land on the left side of the glass, or you can land in the middle. That's really up to you. You can even have your partner start off going out of the glass and go up. So same for both of you, left side of the glass. And then your partner can take off from there and go onto their canvas. So we'll just do a little outline of that in white. And then you can go over it again and add a couple more brush strokes just to make it kind of look like liquid. All right, so those look good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take, if you are on the white wine side, and you guys could both do the same color wine, but if you're on the white wine side, you're going to take white and yellow, mix those together, and it's going to give you a nice white wine color. So white and yellow filbert brush, and you're going to brush over where you added the white before, and you're also going to go over your spiral. So you can use your baby brush for that if you want. So we're still working with the white wine. So then I'm going to wipe my brush off, and I'm going to take plain yellow, and I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to flick my brush upward slightly. And that's going to add a little bit of variation in there. And after I get that in there, I can use the edge of my brush, and I can start just going over my wine that's dripping into my glass. And I can use the plain yellow, or I can use the white and yellow mixture. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I know I'm talking like a doofus. If you're on the red side, you're going to take your filbert brush, no white mixed in, otherwise you'll have a rosé. So plain red, and you're going to go same thing. You're going to go across your white area, and you'll just drag the red down, leaving some black at the bottom. If you have too much paint at any point, just wipe your brush off on the side, and then you'll also go over your spiral. So I'll show you that up here. So I could go right across here and just drag the red down, go across my spiral, and then I can start to go over my little stream there with just some plain red, leaving some of the black showing through. So I'll turn up the music, and we'll just work on this for a minute. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to really start to make these look like glass. So it's actually very easy to do. When you look at it, you're like, wow, it looks amazing, looks like a photo. But it's very easy to do. It's just white highlights. So I strongly suggest use the filbert brush and white paint and not your baby brush. Oh, just kidding. This is, God, I'm really too tired to be doing this. I'm sorry. Okay, the next step we're going to do is we're going to fill in our wine bottles. Jiminy Cricket. Your wine bottle could be any color you want. You could do a brown wine bottle. I'm going to do green, so I'm going to take yellow and green and mix those together just to make it not quite so turquoise. And I'm going to start on the right side of my bottle, And then I am going to, without grabbing more paint, I'm going to keep brushing over towards the left edge of my canvas. So I'll go right along the side here. Without grabbing more paint, I'll start to go over to the other side into the black. Same thing for both of you. And when you go into the black, it'll really kind of give it a nice fade, a nice look. And you can also do a little stroke along the top of your wine bottle there. Okay, now we're going to do the white highlights. So while we're working on our bottles, that gave our wine in our glasses a little time to dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our filbert brush and plain white paint, and we're going to do our highlights on our wine glasses. So you're going to use the edge of your brush, and you're going to do what's called implied lines. So an implied line is where you're making a line, and then you add breaks in between. So what you can even do with your original pencil drawing is you can erase a couple parts of the line. You know you're not aiming for those parts. So it doesn't matter which parts, you just want to have breaks in the line. So I can just trace over some of it and not all of it. And if you do end up tracing over the whole thing, don't worry, because we're going to go in and touch it up with black and clean up those little areas. So you're going to use the edge of your brush and kind of just outline over your pencil. Down at the bottom of your glass, you can do concentric circles again. Mine's not standing out a whole lot just because I already did it in white. So overlapping really makes painting stand out, so you'll definitely want to overlap over your wine that's going down into your glass with a little white highlight. So after you get those in there, we're going to do a really important highlight, and that's coming down from the top of the glass. So you don't want to go to the very top. You can do a highlight there, but in this painting I didn't. So I'm going to the bottom of my ellipse there. And I'm using the flat side of my brush, and I'm just going to flick it down. And you can do multiple ones of these, however many highlights you want. I'm making this sound really confusing right now, but I've taught this before, and it's really not hard. I think I'm just a little spaced out. Okay, so you'll work on adding your highlights, and then we're going to do highlights on our bottle. So you can go highlights over the rim, and then you can do highlights down the side of the bottle. As many as you want, having little breaks in them if you want. And you can add a couple little highlights in your wine that's dripping down into your glass if you want to. So turn up the music, work on that. So then if you wanted to knock back some areas on your wine glass to make it look a little bit more implied, you could take black and just kind of paint over just a couple of areas to make it look like you can't see those areas, and that will really make your wine glass stand out. And you could add a little bit of color down at the bottom of your glass, and that would just be kind of like the color reflecting onto the bottom. I forget what it's called. The part you hold. Okay, so that is wine for two. So I hope that didn't make that too confusing. You do not need the flat brush. I've taught it with the flat before, but it's just another brush to clean that you don't really need. You can totally do the whole thing with the filbert. And the key is just going to be to do the canvases the correct way. So hold on one second. So the majority of the time you're teaching, you're going to have them next to each other, just identical like this. But when you show them how to go onto their partner's canvas, you'll have to take your canvas off and flip it so that you can then show them. So we're going onto our partner's canvas about 2 inches and putting the little rim of ours, so basically the top of the wine glasses, and then you'll have to show them the wine and how it's going into the glasses. And the only thing that'll be different. But you don't want to teach it like this. I had a girl do that and she heavily regretted it. So I'm warning you, do not teach it like that. Teach it just straight up.